Hello and welcome to Tvaritam.AI. In this video, we are going to understand how we can implement a gradient boosting model in our platform. So once we are done with all the data pre-processing and data cleaning, what we will do is we'll jump onto our model architecture selection tab and we will go with the gradient boosting model for this video. And selection of the problem type will remain regression, as this time I'm trying to predict a continuous variable, that is the price of a house. Now we click on apply. We move forward. I'll go with a random sampling and a 80-10-10 ratio in this case. And if you want to understand more about sampling, how the split happens, what kind of sampling technique you should go with in case of classification, you will also have the option for stratified sampling. So if you want to understand more about that, you can refer to the sampling video on the same. Now, once we move forward, we have to decide our loss function, the regularization techniques and the metrics. So this time I'm going with the square error as my loss function, and we'll go with R2 score as the metric. If you want to understand more about how these regularization hyperparameters like maximum trees, learning rate, early stopping works in real time, you can go through the video. You can also go through the user guide to understand more about these. Also, if you want to have a quick reference when you are working on the software, you can just go through the info section to have this quick look. Now this time let us try with multiple hyperparameters. So I will give not 100, but let us train for 200 and 400 trees, and let us try 0.1 and 0.01 as our two different learning rates. We can also try other combination of hyperparameters, and we can anytime see the metrics, come back and then retrain on the set that we want. Now in domain constraints for regression, we get to apply monotonic constraints. When you go with classification problem, you will get the option to give class weights to different classes. In this case, now that we are predicting the house price, let us take size of square feet. Let us take the size in square feet as an increasing constraint, because we assume that if the size of a house is bigger, then it should lead to higher prices. Now one can also argue for bedrooms and bathrooms. So if you have a very high confidence in this, that this will surely increase the price and it can never lead to a decrease in price, then you can keep this increasing as well. But you should not overly apply these constraints on your presumptions if you are not sure about this. So this time we'll only go with the size, and I'll start the training process now. It will run the quick validation, and we can see then in the log section, once the training process starts, it will train all the 4 models that we have trained. So this is on the given set of hyperparameters, it's training the first model, that is gradient boosting with learning rate 0.1 and maximum number of trees 200. Similarly, it will train for 0.1 and 400, and then again for the different learning rate 0.01 for 200 and 400 trees. Okay, now that we are done with the training completion, we can see that we have trained 4 models and we have different R2 scores for training and cross validation metrics. So we can, depending on the score, decide which models is giving us better performance. And on that model, we can also experiment a little bit. We can change the hyperparameters, we can tune them differently and see if we get a better score. Now, if you want to experiment a little bit, you can just go back to the loss function tab and change if you want to change the sampling strategies or the domain constraints. In case you are satisfied with one of the models, or you want to save that, or maybe more than one model, you can just go here, save the report of the model, that is a PDF about the steps that have been done in the pre-processing and as well as training hyperparameters. Or you can also save the model and use it for prediction in real time. So you can save the model, you can get the testing data and use it to predict. You can refer to the video on the same. You can also export this accuracy report, which tells you You can also export this accuracy report, which contains all the 4 models. So this would be saved in a CSV file. So you can go back and see what models or what hyperparameters were giving you the better performance. So you can then come back and experiment. So this gives you the flexibility to keep a track of whatever you have completed. And this is how you can simply train a gradient boosting model in Tvaritam. Thank you.